The miracle of childbirth sometimes turns into a nightmare. And when that happens, sometimes the hospital is to blame. But not always. In Esquivel v. Waters, the court explained how a hospital's duty of care depends on a hospital-patient relationship. Ark City Clinic gave Michelle Esquivel, who was pregnant, a certificate for a free gender sonogram at a local hospital, South Central Kansas Regional Medical Center. When Esquivel arrived at the hospital on November 15th, she signed a waiver that stated the sonogram's purpose was to determine the baby's gender and not to diagnose any medical condition. The hospital's sonogram technician, David Hazlett, couldn't determine the baby's gender because the bowel was outside the body, a condition called gastroschisis. Hazlett wasn't qualified to diagnose medical conditions, so he didn't tell Esquivel about the gastroschisis, but he did tell Esquivel's obstetrician, Dr. Aaron Waters, who wasn't employed by the hospital. Waters didn't write this information anywhere in Esquivel's file, but directed his nurse to contact Esquivel. The nurse repeatedly called Esquivel over the next several days, but she never answered. Esquivel didn't show for a November 26 appointment with Waters. By the time Waters next saw Esquivel on January 4th, he'd forgotten about the abnormal sonogram and didn't discuss it with her. On February 9th, Esquivel became ill and had an emergency C-section. Waters was on vacation at the time, and the hospital staff who performed the delivery first learned of the gastroschisis when they extracted the baby. The hospital then transferred the baby to a larger hospital for surgery. However, the surgeon determined that most of the baby's bowel was dead and sent the baby home for hospice care. The baby died 1 month later. Esquivel then sued Waters and the South Central Kansas Regional Medical Center for medical malpractice. She argued that she could have planned to deliver and treat the baby at a specialty hospital if she'd been informed of the abnormal sonogram in November. The trial court granted summary judgment for Waters, ruling that Esquivel failed to show that Waters deviated from the applicable standard of care, or that his conduct caused the baby's death. The judge also granted summary judgment for the hospital because Esquivel failed to show that the hospital owed her a duty of care. Esquivel appealed to the Kansas Court of Appeals.